All right, Ron, we got these 9 beautiful rifles, and I want to know what you think about them, something you like, something you don't like, and who the heck you'd recommend them for.
Well, first of all, I have to say I am suffering from 308 poisoning. There have never been this many 308 rifles in my life. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of 308 Winchester Week.
Yeah, it's been a fun week.
With Chase Fly.
Yeah.
We've been doing this on the fly, no rehearsals, right?
None at all.
And we are down to the final 3 of the finals.
Yeah, it's been a long week. We did 3 other sessions with groups of 3 rifles in each, kind of classified in different categories, for different types of shooters, and here we're going to do a shoot-off, right?
But unfortunately, we have 4 rifles here. Why is that?
Well, you got a little indecisive. At first, you'd pick the Tika, but you had a dream or something, and now you've got the visions in the night telling you to choose something different. So
I had a dream.
So what do you got? What's your ambivalence about?
What we've been doing, I think, is we were biasing toward precision shooting.
Sure.
And I got to thinking, this is a hunting rifle. What am I picking for a hunting rifle? And when I got to thinking about these 2, they both had a couple of groups that were right around that minute of angle, which is plenty good enough for hunting. And who knows what they're going to do with the right ammo, and they're just perfection, you know. We're just working with 3 loads here. So I thought, wait a minute now, if they're both shooting well enough, what else do I want in a hunting rifle? When the answer, of course, is balance, lightweight, etc. And I think I'm going to get it out of this Ruger for a little bit less money. Can't fault that Tika. I mean, I liked everything I saw about it, except for just the feel of this little Ruger really impresses me. And this was the final. Screwing this baby off and putting a suppressor on there. I mean, the idea of hunting with the silencer has gotten me so fired up. I just love having that muzzle blast calm down.
Sure. And while there may be a Tika T3 that is, or T3X that has a threaded barrel, this is the T3X light stainless. So it's a nice stainless barrel, which is great, but yeah, you don't have that option to put on a suppressor.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a slim difference, but I'm going to switch my allegiance to this Ruger.
Okay, well,
I hope you don't mind too much.
No, let's see what I'm interested. I think it's been an interesting rifle, and I agree with you. I just got a new suppressor myself, first one.
Oh, yeah?
And so I'm interested in these rifles that can take them.
Yeah, okay. Well, listen, let's not switch up and start shooting with a suppressor on yet. We tested all these without suppressors. So let's run through a final test. We were using 3 different kinds of ammunition for the previous test. You can go back to the old videos and check them all out. We shot 150 grain, 168 grain, 180 grain. I think for this test, to simplify things, let's just go with the 150. They all seem to shoot 150s pretty darn well. Some of them were biased more toward the 180s, actually, and in some of them the 168s. But we've got enough 150s left here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, just enough. We can do a 3-shot group with each of these for the final shoot-off.
Perfect.
And we'll see the ultimate winner.
Yeah, let's see.
And you know who I'm already voting for.
I do know who you're voting for. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's not the Ruger.
All right, 100 yards. We've got 1 target left with no holes in it out there. And that's on the lower right. So let's get 3 rounds into this beautiful NULA Model 20 from Wilson Combat. Sub 5-pound rifle. Actually, I think they're advertising at about 5 pounds, 2 ounces or something. They put bottom metal on it. The original had a blind magazine, which means you can't open a trapdoor to get your cartridges out. You have to run them all through the action with your bolt. That saved a little bit of weight, and when they were originally designed, that's what Mel was after. Just absolute minimal weight. All right, I'm going to go dead center on this target. As I recall, this thing was grouping a little bit to the left. So let's see what happens. Well, it goes off, and it puts that bullet about a ½ inch from the bullseye. And again, as I've been stressing through this whole series, we're not necessarily trying to hit the bullseye. We'll do our final adjustments on our zeros once we pick the right ammo and everything else. We're just looking for group. I don't know. I'm thinking I hit the same hole here, Chase.
Sounds good to me.
That's always a good sign. Oh, goodness. Don't screw it up. Felt good. I don't know, but I think I just see one ragged hole
Think
out
so?
there. Let's not look. Let's not look. Let's just make it a
All right, let's
surprise.
go. Let's just go.
Give me another rifle.
Keep cycling through.
I love this. Wilson Combat NULA Model 20. Sorry,
All right.
man.
Trade you.
All right, now this guy could win. He was shooting awfully well, as I recall. Still don't like that unnecessarily large projecting magazine, but a lot of folks like them. You can always get a smaller size if you need it. Yeah, this is like a big target rifle. I want to make sure I'm not snagging that extra stud for mounting a bipod. Oh, I lied. I can see that group now with this bigger scope, but it's not as good as I thought. Not by a long shot. Nah, it's more like 1.5 inches. The worst group I've shot with that. Oh, sad. Okay. Upper left little diamond, aiming for the bottom of the yellow lines coming together. This is a tang safety that I have trouble with. I think I've got it off and it's not quite off. A little bit sticky. A very light trigger. I would want to probably stiffen that up for hunting. A couple of times now I've had this thing glitch on feed.
Yeah, it's not super smooth.
It might just require a lot harder run, as in don't baby the bolt. Didn't do so good on that one either. There, nice and smooth that time. Yeah, I think they're about tie. This might be a smidgen better.
Okay.
And it may have shot. You know what? I think this magazine dropped down and I didn't pick up the one in the magazine. I went and single fed it. And I was thinking when I was doing it, there should have been one more in there, and there was.
Yep, you got one more. I see it.
But that was my fault. I'm so used to single feeding when I shoot off the bench. It's a smooth shooting rifle, though.
All right, here's that Ruger. Once we went up and saw the close-ups of the groups the other day, we realized it was tighter than we thought.
Yeah, I was not remembering it shooting that well, but when I, like said, that dream that I had last night, I thought, wait a minute, wasn't that thing grouping way better? Oh, and this is another one where I've got to get used to that detachable magazine. This is the rifle that had the trigger issue for me. It just seems like it's mushy, I think I described it.
Yeah.
It's still shooting well, but I never feel like I'm about at that break point. It just, where is it? Where is it? And then finally it goes. It just seems like it requires a little more pressure than it should. Yeah. One could get used to it, and obviously, based on what this thing is shooting for groups, that might have been the winner. What are you seeing? That might have been the winner.
Well, so the center was the NULA, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's about 1.25 inches.
Yep, off to the left a little bit. And then the Savage was in the upper right, correct?
Yep. And that's about 1.25 inches, what?
Yep. I'd say, yeah, pretty darn close to the same as the NULA, actually. And then the last one, you had two in the same hole, right on the bullseye, and then you had one that went a bit low, about, 1.5 inches low.
So they're all shooting about the same group, huh? Well, that's not going to
Well, what kind of tiebreaker is that?
Yeah, no kidding.
What do we learn from this?
No, we need to shoot more ammo. I don't know if I want to waste any more of this expensive ammo. What do you think?
I think we just call it a draw in some respects. You know, there are different rifles for different folks.
You know, I think that's probably the smart way to do it, is call it a draw, because once again, too many people think brand X rifle is the most accurate in the world. Rifle by rifle by rifle, they all change.
Mm-hmm.
You may have overall pretty good accuracy and consistency out of one particular rifle from one company, but doesn't mean every one of them is going to shoot the same. Yeah. It drives me nuts when someone tests a rifle and says, oh, this is the one that shot a quarter ammo away. Buy one of these. Yeah. Well, the one you buy might not shoot a quarter ammo away. And as we've seen already with the 3 different loads, this might have liked the 150 the best. Right. It might have been miserable with a 180. I can't remember. You've got to play with all of that stuff. And not to beat a dead horse, but why not? Sure. You got to sample more than 3 different loads too. Yep. Unless you're happy with the first one. You know, a lot of guys will go, well, that's grouping an 1 1/4 inch. I never shoot past 300 yards. An 1 1/4 inch group at 300 yards is easily within the vital zone of a deer. I could go to 400 and 500 yards and still stay inside of the vital zone of a deer. So I'm good. I'm not going to waste my money. Yeah. And you can also say, this is my favorite bullet. If it only groups 1 1/4 instead of a half, I don't care, because it's the bullet that's killing the animal. Yeah. I've got to have a great bullet. So there's a lot of things to balance. Yeah. All right, so here's how I'm going to decide this. Ruger won this particular one for accuracy. Okay. But the other day when we shot the NULA, that one won for accuracy. Easily, yeah. And with all the loads. With every single load had the tightest groups of any. And if I remember right, the time we shot that Savage, it was consistent with 3 different loads. There was one load I think went a little wonky, but it was better than the others, yeah. Mm-hmm. So once again, it shows the potential of all of them. I don't like the big rifles just because it's big and heavy. Sure. But once again, for someone who's going to sit on a stand or hike a little ways out and watch a big field and cross the field and that sort of thing, a lot of deer hunters do that, and even some elk hunters do it. Yeah. Why not? Take your pick. Get what you feel confident with. Yeah. And I feel confident with that NULA. Yeah. And I know it shoots beautifully. This thing might hang right with it. Yeah. A lot less money. Well, and what I like about the NULA and this is you're not lugging a whole lot of weight around. Yeah. Especially that NULA, but yeah, this one's not bad either. No, this is not bad either. And I love the idea that we're going to be able to put a suppressor on either one of them. Yeah. So which one are you going to pick for your deer hunting rifle this year? Well, I think I still want to try that Browning, but I'm very interested in this one. More interested in this one than I thought at the beginning. You know, when I got it, I kind of thought, oh, this is the budget rifle, this and that. But, you know, it seems to have some features and seems to shoot well that make it kind of interesting. Yeah, it really does. So I think you need to put your suppressor on them and try how I like that. A lot of times your accuracy will really improve with the suppressor. So that Browning might start shooting nice one-hole groups with you. We'll see. All right, we'll do that on another video, huh? Yeah. All right. Well, and it should be said too, if you wanted to see any of these other guns we're going to talk about shot in your other videos, they were all shot, and we did 3 groups of 3 with each. So be sure and check those out. Yeah. Go back into videos where we had our initial runoffs between 3 rifles, 3 rifles, and 3 rifles. Yeah. And you'll see some really tight groups on some of them and not so much on the others. Yeah. But it's worth a check out. And then we're going to do some range shooting with Chase. He's competent out to 200 yards, and he's never had the opportunity to shoot beyond that, and he wants to investigate it. So we're going to do some field shooting and reach out to 300, maybe 400 yards. See if we get his confidence up. I would love that. Because out in Idaho, you often have to shoot no kidding. Yards. Yep. A lot of missed opportunities. Yeah. Well, for now, though, we're going to go look at the rest of these guns. We're going to look at all of them side by side, just kind of do a little roundup. Yeah, I think that's worth doing. Pros and cons, and who should use them. Okay. All right. Let's check them out. We'll be back, but in case we don't, in order to shoot straight, I don't know. My wife's back there waving at me. Let's see what she got to say. What's your favorite rifle? What my favorite rifle is. The best of all of them, unequivocally. Okay. Now, my wife has suggested that I say unequivocally the best of the rifles, all these rifles for me, is that Wilson Combat NULA Model 20. Your wife is a wise woman to tell you that. I think that's smart, and it sounds like you've got a good rifle. Yeah, it really is for me. It might not be for a lot of people. Do not like lightweight rifles, but I would urge you to give them a try, especially a high quality one that shoots as well as this. But it's not a cheap rifle. You have got to be dedicated to your riflery and your sport to pay that kind of money. But hey, people spend a lot of money on their trucks and their motorcycles and their girlfriends and everything else. If you really like rifles, something to consider.
but hide it from your girlfriend.
Yeah, especially your wife.
All right.
All right, let's go look at them over and get the final. Mr. Chase, let's go over these rifles. Pros and cons, right?
Absolutely. Starting with this is the Palmetto State Armory PA-10 Gen 3.
Yeah, and it's a AR-10 platform, so it's a little bit longer action, fits the 308 length cartridges.
Semi-auto.
As luck would have it, you have it chambered for the 308 Winchester.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, but that's what it is. Here's what I like about this.
Yes.
For the price, it is remarkably accurate.
Yeah.
Years ago, we thought the ARs just were never accurate, but they've got all that figured out, and they are just as accurate as any bolt action out there, really. But for me, as a hunting rifle, it's just too heavy.
Yep.
I don't see any benefit in having this big magazine, and as you've said, you don't have to have the big magazine. You can use a smaller one. And a lot of people like the versatility of this thing.
Yep.
Pop the upper off and switch it to something else. You can shoot a 243 Winchester, 338 Federal, whatever fits in that format.
Yep.
And adjustability. You got small frame shooters in the family, large frame shooters in the family, all these things. And then it's so easy to put on aftermarket whatevers you want to. So a lot of folks love these, and I can understand why. Just not my cup of tea.
Sure. Seems like one where if you're a guy who just likes a versatile rifle where you can do your fun target shooting, have some fun at the range, have some fun putting different optics and experiment with things, but you still want something you could take out to go shoot a deer, this would probably do it.
Yeah. Elk too.
Yeah.
Especially if you got it in a 358 Winchester. You know what that one is?
No, I don't.
You ever seen one of those?
No.
That's the 308 just necked up to take a 35 caliber bullet.
Okay.
It is really remarkably effective. All right, now we've got the Bergara B14, a real popular little item here. And what I don't like about this is all the tricked out extra stuff it does.
Okay.
You know, I buy a rifle to fit me and I'm fine. I don't need all these extensions and reductions in length of pull.
Sure.
That's not all that critical to me. I don't even get too crazy about the comb height being matched up perfectly. I try to get my scope down to where I'm getting a natural look down the scope when I chamber that rifle. It's heavy. Yeah. Really heavy. I think the scope is a big part of it, but the rifle itself feels real solid.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, there's something to those thicker barrels.
Right. And that's, of course, kicking into the accuracy, folks. You want an accurate barrel. The stiffer it is, inherently should be more accurate.
Okay.
And that's why they're so heavy. Target barrels are usually heavy. It's short. That helps with the overall stiffness for length. And it does have the removable knurled end where you can put brake on it or suppressor. So it's got a lot to recommend it as a target rifle, as they say, a sniper rifle, but too heavy for a hunting rifle for my style of hunting.
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think it's an interesting one. I think it's aptly named as the B14 Bergara B14 HMR for hunting and match rifle. So, yeah, I mean, if you want kind of a one gun does all, and maybe you're not doing those hard hoofing it all over the backcountry hunts, then this seems like a good option.
Yeah, they sure got a reputation for consistency, precision, and all the rest. Now here's another fairly heavy one.
Yep.
And this is the Savage, which I found to be really the most accurate consistently, I think, of the bunch, other than a lightweight we're going to get to here in a bit.
Sure.
But, you know, classic bolt action. It's got a big bolt handle on it. I'm not real crazy about it, but I understand it for somebody who wants to make sure they got to grab on that handle. Yep. Sometimes they make them a little bit too small in some rifles, and you end up missing it when you're coming up for a quick follow-up shot. Heavy barrel. They fluted it to reduce a little weight, but still you've got your heavy target style barrel. Target style forend. You know, it's not perfectly flat, but it's not real round either, so it's a nice compromise. A couple of swivel studs on there so you can put on your bipods and still have your sling on it. Yeah, good stuff there. I do love the Accu trigger.
I do too. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yep, nice and adjustable. As we've said earlier, I don't like the magazine hanging down. Some folks are going to like the adjustability here once again, but I like this adjustable style better than the one with the levers and cranks.
Okay.
And I don't like the look of it.
You can just pull out what fits you, put the piece on that fits you right, and just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave it. It's a lot sleeker look to it, and you don't get debris down in it and all the rest.
Right on.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to it?
Right on. See what I did there?
Right on, man. You're quick. I can't.
Not that quick.
Whew, that was an accurate rifle.
That's what I think. That's the longest of all the barrels too. It's a 24-inch barrel of all the ones we shot.
Oh yeah, guess it would be. Tika's pretty close. Here's my Remington 700.
Yep.
I like the sleek stock. Well, it reminds me a lot of the Browning X-Bolt.
Okay.
And how slim that is, and I like that in a hunting rifle. Obviously, it's not going to be as effective on the bench with that big, broad forend on a target rifle. Well, I do think we have a 22-inch barrel on this one.
Yeah,
And
let's see. Yeah. Well,
what did the weight come in on that?
The weight on that one is 7.5 pounds.
7.5.
Rifle alone. Yeah, we got a lighter scope on this one, so it doesn't feel too bad.
Yeah, and this has pretty much been the kind of standard hunting rifle weight for a long, long time.
Sure.
Guys who go deer hunting and elk hunting, you get about a 7.5 pound rifle and put a scope on it, and you're good to go. So just your good run-of-the-mill average weight rifle. I was a little disappointed in its accuracy, but it does show fairly consistent 1.25 to 1.5 inch groups.
Yep.
And it wouldn't surprise me if a different particular rifle you picked up in this would shoot much better than that.
Sure.
And with the right ammo, this might shoot much better than that.
And I don't know if this is true. I haven't seen it myself, but I've read on a couple places online where people have seen these barrels start to kind of rust out and pit out pretty easy.
Oh, really?
Is that something you've heard about on the Remingtons?
I've heard it on, somebody was talking about that recently on a different brand. I don't think it was the Remington.
Okay.
But
well,
they can, they can change barrel steels just like that if they want to. Somebody's complaining and okay, let's go to put more carbon in the barrel and that'll fix that problem.
Sure.
I don't know. Hadn't heard it, but something worth checking into. What I don't like about this is the full-length bedding on this particular stock. These synthetic molded stocks are not all that stiff and consistent, so I'd rather free float it, but you can free float it. You want to free float it, get your sandpaper out on a dowel rod, float that thing.
Okay.
And if that doesn't make it more accurate, you can then full-length bed it right back to being full-length bedded with a little epoxy. I mean, I do that quite often on rifles. You can do a lot to make your rifle shoot better.
Yeah, that's nice to know, even on a more affordable rifle like that one.
Yeah. And Remington, there's aftermarket parts, barrels, stocks, and rings and bases and everything for fitting Rem 700s.
Yeah. It seems like there's an enormous range of aftermarket accessories and parts and things you can do with them. So.
Yeah. Throughout the 90s and into the 2000s, most gunsmiths who were making super accurate custom rifles were using the Model 700 actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. Now, this is your Tikka that you liked last year and hunted with.
That's the Tikka T3X Light Stainless.
But the scope is too heavy for this particular rifle. When I get a light rifle, I want a light scope to go with it to keep things light.
Sure.
Sometimes you can say, well, look, I saved a pound on my rifle, so I'm going to gain it in my scope and still have the standard weight rifle, but I've got the bigger scope. Some people like that, so that's not a bad idea. But I like the short bolt lift it's a 2-lug system, and yet you've got a pretty short bolt throw as far as vertical. It looks to me, though, I don't know if this is a true short. Yeah, it's got to be a short action. It looks a little bit long to me, almost like it would fit a 30-06, but I'm sure it doesn't. It's just an optical illusion. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this. There's so many people who love that Tikka.
Yeah.
T3i, T3X, what is it?
T3X.
T3X.
Yeah.
And I have never worked with one before, but I almost pick this for my winner in that category. Got the flow.
Well, you did it first.
Yeah, I did it first.
And you did a little flip-flop in there.
Yeah. Just feels a little bit heavy to me. I may be biased because of the scope.
Yeah, maybe.
But
it's a nice, I think it's a nice rifle. I think everybody that loves them, keep loving them. Sometimes the best 308 rifle is probably the rifle you already got.
Yeah. And who can argue with success, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All righty.
Now we're going to go to the one that I flipped on, and I decided to pick this little Ruger.
And I can't blame you. It's a nice rifle.
Yeah. I'm not generally crazy about short barrels, but now that I'm starting to work with suppressors, I get it.
Yeah.
You add a 5-inch suppressor on the end of this, and you've still got a fairly reasonable length on your rifle. And it shot surprisingly well for its price point.
Nice. Yeah, it did. It did.
So it's good price, consistent accuracy, and it has a reputation for the same. And it's got the short bolt lift. I like that. I like the, for a dropout magazine like this, I like that stiff nylon. That seems to be pretty durable. And we didn't show it, but the bedding system in here is pretty clever. They've got these bedding V-blocks in the stock, and they fit into the rifled action and really hold it consistently.
Okay.
And so you've got a free-floated barrel, and the combination is a good solid bedding in the action, free-floating barrel. You should be accurate, and by golly, this was pretty accurate.
Right on. Yeah, I think that's a good one. I enjoyed shooting it, and I think you did too.
Yeah, and it's got a nice balance too. It's right where it needs to be.
Yeah, that wouldn't pain you to carry around the woods that often, or a lot. It's so light.
Yep. So.
Yep. Nice.
Like that one. This is getting back into that a little more stock than I like.
Yeah, now we're into the higher end ones. Yep.
Yeah, but this is the one where if you're target shooting, you got your flat forend that's going to sit in the bags nicely, slide beautifully right back and forth. There isn't even a stud to catch on it. Notice it's got this new system where you can put your sling studs in that ball that's recessed.
Yep.
And hang it off your shoulder that way, either side.
Yeah, and then it kind of lays flush on your back. I've read that guys like that.
Yeah, guys like that a lot. And they've got a great reputation. Springfield's really coming on with that 2020. Got a fluted bolt, shave a little weight off of there. Got a good-sized handle, which you generally see on your target rifles. Again,
about as much carbon fiber as you can ask for.
Yeah, yeah, I got carbon fiber in the stock and in the barrel.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think this is kind of like the latest and greatest.
Yep.
Top-notch stuff, and again, threaded barrel. So if you like a target style like this one, probably a pretty good option.
Yeah, that's probably one of the more hunting leaning target rifle as opposed to the target leaning hunting rifles we started with.
Yeah. Now this is your Browning. And I've liked the Browning X bolt since it came out. Back in the day, I hunted with the A bolt and thought it was pretty slim and trim and lightweight. I had a titanium model for a while, mountain rifle. Took a lot of game with that. And then they upgraded to the X, and I thought, what are you doing? The A bolt's not that old yet.
Yeah.
And here you're coming out with another version. Well, they trimmed everything down, and I was really impressed. So I just love the trim line of the stock for a hunting rifle. I don't like excess weight, excess bulk, or anything else. So I love that, and they are generally quite accurate. This one isn't quite as accurate as most that I've shot over the years. Kind of surprises me because it's a 308.
Sure.
I've used a 6.8, and I've used a 7 rim mag in them, I think, and a 300, and can't remember all of them, but I've shot quite a few over the years. But I think you're really pretty high on it, aren't you?
Yeah, and I liked how you pointed out that bolt release even when its safe is on. So it's a two position safe.
Yeah.
But you can still release that bolt.
Yep, and I'm doing it right now.
It's locked otherwise.
Locked right now, but if I want to empty the chamber without taking it off the safe, just push that button down on top of the bolt handle right there, and she opens.
That's handy.
Yeah, pretty nice. And it's got that dropout magazine, which a lot of guys really love. And again, I've mentioned it's like rugged nylon, and it in and out locks up nicely. Not a lot not to like about that rifle.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hunting with it.
I'm looking forward to you sending me a picture of what you got with it.
Oh, I don't know. I might be too ashamed to show you. We'll see. We'll see if I come out with Bambi or if I come out with something bigger.
Well, what do you think of this?
So I'm, you introduced it to me, and I mean, it's hard to argue with how light it is and how nice it is. I think it's, as a straight shooter, I love how minimalistic it is in a lot of ways, and how they managed to just downsize everything, but still maintain, obviously, an accurate rifle that weighs less than anything else we've got up here.
Yeah, and I think that's what blows most people away, is that a light, super light rifle like this can shoot that well.
Yeah. With
3 different loads. It really didn't do badly with any of them. And it looks like they've got a carbon fiber stop in here. They used to just be the hand-laid Kevlar fiberglass, but it looks like they've gone to carbon fiber on it. Nice. Keeping that weight around about 5 pounds, 2 ounces, I think is what they're advertising right now. And I've talked about it enough in the previous videos to explain why I love it so much. But this is going to continue to be my absolute favorite ultralight rifle, and probably all-around hunting rifle. Sure. Until something better comes along, sticking with it. Good to know. 20.
Well, there you have it. We just lined out quite a few very nice 308 rifles, I think. Would you call them the best of the best? What do you think?
Yeah.
There's probably some other good options out there. I mean, I know we were kind of eyeballing that, just a classic Winchester Model 70 featherweight or something, but those are hard to come by sometime right now.
Yeah, it's a beautiful rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of great rifles, and that's the wonderful thing about all of this business, is that in the US of A, we've got so many choices.
Sure.
Yeah. We've got so many great rifle manufacturers, not just the big brands, but smaller independent ones. Christensen Arms and Fierce Rifles, and on it goes. So we have an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of spoiled in this country because we've got so many choices, and we start grousing about this, that, or the other thing. Don't grouse about the rifles that you don't like. Just focus on the ones you do. Yeah. And keep an open mind to something new coming along. Just because you've preferred one style all the time like I, doesn't mean that you can't try other ones and learn something new and find out, man, maybe this one does work a little bit better.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm going to say, for these 308 rifles for hunting, the best of the best, is the Wilson Combat NULA Model 20 for me.
Very nice.
Who are you going to pick?
You know, I think I'm going to go with that. I mean, if you were giving that to me, I think I'd take it with me home. But I'm going to go with that Browning. I just really like the form factor too. I kind of like the idea. It's similar to the NULA in that it's sort of minimalistic. There's not a lot of extra weight or extra fat on it. So, and I've hunted just enough, and I'm not some extreme hunter or anything, but I've hunted enough to know that lugging a heavy rifle around with a big scope that I don't need is a little overkill. So I'm trying to minimize things a bit, and I really like the idea of that one.
All right.
But I enjoyed shooting all of them.
Yeah, nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
I was really surprised mostly by that AR-10.
Were you?
It really was. The accuracy of it, trigger felt great. I was really surprised how well that thing shot.
Yeah.
But I hate looking around for my brass.
Sure. Yeah, and it'll fling them in every which way.
Why don't we take this Browning out, put that suppressor of yours on it, and start shooting.
I'm looking forward to that. Right, yeah, new suppressor. All right.
Maybe I should say something like goodbye to our fans. Huh?
Oh, and then I'll do the little closing too.
Hey everybody, I want you to listen to Chase talking about his website because he's doing a lot of reviews on outdoor products. I mostly feature cartridges, ammunition, rifles, scopes. He gets into all the other things we need, like boots and packs and camp gear and coolers and tents, and tell them about what you've got.
Yeah, over at Outdoor Empire, we do very detailed outdoor gear reviews, and we do a lot of these comparison types. We have it on our YouTube channel, and we have it on our website. So you can check out an article of the best 308 rifles where you'll get a full rundown with thanks to Ron's input here about these rifles and more, and then feel free to check us out and see if there's other types of content that you're interested in, especially the coolers. I know a lot of hunters need a good cooler, and I have 60 coolers in my backyard. Not even kidding. Yeah, we've done some pretty in-depth tests. It's a little geeking out a little too far. My wife said it's become a problem, so I don't know if you got extra space in your shop for some coolers then.
No, actually, I have quite a few of my own.
All right.
But not 60.
All righty.
All right, folks, check him out. It's not Country Estates.
No, it's not. He's calling me an HOA president earlier. Chase Fry with Country Estates? Who's this? No.
Hey, this is Ron Spomer. Chase, I want to thank you for bringing all of your rifles over here.
Hey, thank you.
And introducing me to what did you call it, a 308 Winchester?
Yeah, I think something like that. I'm still figuring out. Or is it the 308 Remington?
Forget about it. After this week, I'll never shoot another one. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Ron Spomer here with Ron Spomer Outdoor. You know I hate 308 Winchesters.
Wait, you don't... What? I was sold a bill of goods here? What's going on, man?
But I do like these rifles. Hey, tune in next time. I don't know what we're going to be doing. Probably going to watch Chase try to hit a target out there at 300.
Yeah, it'll be a whole lot of nothing going on right now.
All right. Well, until next time, hunt honest and shoot straight.